happy with this break, I'll be honest with you, especially the way it ended. The time leading up to it, because I couldn't get my head around the despondency, and more than anything else, I couldn't get my head around the idea of just the title. I know that winds you up as well, and so I think, you know, one message we're looking to get across, certainly in this opening part of the show, is like, maybe sort of get a little bit of a grip on yourself about how you're talking about the reality of the Reds potentially winning a league title. And I'm still saying potentially, because I don't like to do anything as a fait accompli. There's still a big chunk of work to be done. Until it's done, we won't be celebrating anything, but it is there to be done, and we're in a fantastic position to do it. And it just, I mean, look, a league title win, Dave, you know, with the best will in the world, you're a younger man than me, and so you didn't have an era really where you were able to see regular league titles. This isn't exactly regular, but another one in 5 years will do me for now, and it's very exciting to look forward to it, man. And it's right there in front of us, several Sundays in a row now until we play Arsenal on a Saturday. And wouldn't it be wonderful if that was the day where we could put it to bed? I mean, I don't think it gets done ahead of that, because I don't see Arsenal falling off a cliff to that extent. But wouldn't it be amazing if that was the decider, and we actually got our cup final? You know what I mean?
I'm actually, it's the bee in my bonnet, I would say, at the moment. And I want to give a bit of mitigation to people, because I get, like you said, there's been results recently, and that Carabao, the Champions League defeat, that came in a week. And there's been such a long gap. This international break feels like it's gone on for eternity. I get that as mitigation. But you have to look where the noise of, it's just a title comes from, or the Liverpool were on for a quadruple. It's just mainstream media, absolute nonsense. Not one Liverpool fan has ever, that I've come across, been suggesting a quadruple was on the table. Yes, I get a little bit about the Carabao. People probably thought we would win that, and you know that would add to the docket, to the trophy wall. But also you look at all the other side of the narrative of, it's the weakest Premier League for a while. It's funny that when it's us at the top again, isn't it? How the Premier League's not as strong as it was, despite the teams in the middle, having some great players, some great results. The rest of the Premier League below the big ones has got stronger for me. No two ways about it. But this whole nonsense, Trev, it's just a title. It's never just a title, isn't it? I said to you before we started filming, I'd have sold a kidney to be here where we are right now at this stage. It's never just a title, is it?
Yeah, it's bizarre framing. And I know a lot of people are sort of in a paranoid camp where they believe that the media presents things as Liverpool bad. And I don't disparage that way of thinking about the world at all. It's just I can't afford to allow myself to be there all the time. But I do get it, because there's such mental gymnastics going on to get to a situation where you can print a headline like that, that Liverpool maybe have to be content with just the title. It's a remarkable way of framing reality, a reality which everyone else would be embracing the opportunity of winning a title with just the greatest excitement ever. Now, we have a sort of a poisoned atmosphere. The City thing has muddied the waters immensely. You know how I feel about that lot and how I feel about their achievement. And I've been forced to speak out of a grimacing face about, they have tremendous footballers and they've played great football, and fair play to him. He can really wrangle a good team into shape, and that's an amazing achievement, blah, blah, blah. And I detest every syllable, because part of me knows that there's hinky stuff going on there that's led to that. Yeah. And part of me knows that in a different world, man, we have so many more trophies under Jurgen Klopp, and it just feels like a proper era. Now, it was an era, the Klopp thing. It absolutely was. We were hoping, you and I and several others in this channel, that it would be an era that we build upon immediately. I don't think in our wildest dreams, Dave, we'd have thought immediately meant Arne winning the title straight out the bat, and he has a great chance to do that. The Carabao Cup can be whatever it is. If people can't put that in the box as a one-off against a team who are desperately hungry for it, I don't know what to say to you. Is it a bit of a worry that we weren't desperately hungry? Yeah, it is, Dave. It is worry.
Yeah.
And on the back of the disappointment of going out of Europe, it's a double worry. And it made me, I said this to you, question, is there something awry in the camp? And that's my only concern about this run-in is, have things gone tits up within the group? And you can say that's paranoid in and of itself, and maybe it is. But I felt like that was the only thing that was concerning me. And if we can just hit the ground running against Everton now, I think this could be a really enjoyable run-in. It could be something we can knock a lot of fun out of.
Yeah, and you're right. It feels massive, this game. It almost gets to triggers it in motion. But you think, as you said, that I've never really had that sort of period of absolute glory. It was those down the East Lancs Road when I was growing up. That was the main side. And this to win, or potentially win, touch wood, a second title in such a short space. Thinking about the one we won it last time and the situation that everyone is it or was in at the time. We should just be reveling in this, shouldn't we, Trev? We should be soaking it all in, remembering these moments of what it could mean. It almost blocking out the mainstream, the background noise, but soaking everything into our pores, shouldn't we?
That's exactly it. That's kind of where I was trying to drive the bus a minute ago. You just put it better than I did in terms of, if you can't enjoy this, then you have given in and you've allowed the mental gymnasts to actually exert their will over you. So stop being so weak-minded would be my advice to anyone who's in that. But stop allowing absolute gobshites in the mainstream media who have an agenda to keep the competition going, who have an agenda to push against whoever is the favorite at all times. Yeah. Why would you allow that kind of thing to influence your thinking? As I said, we could be in a position, especially if we go out and win big or win convincingly against Everton, we could be in a position where we can revel in this run-in and in good form and one game a week and all that kind of thing. And it could be really, really good. There is also the potential for the wheels to come off, and anyone who says that that's not a possibility is equally deluded, because on the back of what we saw, everyone has their own theories, from fatigue, which some people sneer at, to something wrong in the camp, which other people sneer at, to we just peaked and now we're on the downslide, which other people sneer at. But you're allowed to have those concerns and still be optimistic. And I think a healthy way to be would be somewhere in the middle, because if you're already saying we haven't won, that could be a very uncomfortable couple of months for you ahead. But if you're writing it off and saying it's all over just because of a couple of bad performances back to back, again, have you seen this team? This team have found ways to win, different ways to win matches all throughout this season. To say that it's just going to end seems a little bit equally daft. And like I say, maybe buying into the narrative that the wheels have come off. I don't think that. I just would be worried that there might be a little bit of disgruntlement for all the reasons you and I have spoken about on different shows, particularly the transfer show, the contracts thing, the movement of certain players being touted very, very obviously, that could sour an atmosphere. So yes, man, let's enjoy this. Let's absolutely look at the wonderful position that we are in with the amount of games that we have left. It's exciting. It's exciting. And if you can't be excited about this, then, you know, it's probably not for you, because we have a chance to win the league. That's the ultimate. Like, I love the Champions League, man. You know that. But to win this league, it's such a superb achievement over time. And anyone who's telling you, you know, it's going to be another one with an asterisk on it for whatever reason, anyone who's in that mindset, you know what they are. Don't even entertain that nonsense. Like, someone tried to say that to me live about the standard of the league, and I literally just smirked at him and walked away, because you know what they're doing. They're dangling bait. Don't bite.
Yeah. And in case, and we understand if there'll be a few bits of trepidation, it's almost like City have installed a PTSD in us from all the run-ins right to the end, possibly, and that just won't go away. But 9 to go, 12 clear. When you actually stack those fixtures as well, Trev, and for those that can't see on social media, I mean, Everton at home, Fulham away, then even that run, as you said, where we hit one a week. West Ham at home, Leicester away, Spurs at home in the next 5. They're not handpicked. I won't go that far, but it's a good set of fixtures to knock off the points needed. You would take those all day if someone lined them up, as well as the points total, wouldn't you?
You would have to. And listen, the thing about this team, and you know, at most parts of the season until that last week where we had those very demoralizing back-to-back defeats,
Yeah,
exiting Europe and losing a cup final, what you would have always said was, if our team shows up, no one's going to beat us. And why has that changed? That hasn't changed. Nothing's changed. There is the ultimate prize on the line. Do you think that Virgil van Dijk is going to allow some small little ructions in the camp or small little disgruntlements to derail him that Mo Salah is going to? We saw Mo doing his solo training there very recently. I mean, the guy's a machine, right? Tell me that guy doesn't want this league title. Come on, just let's have a little bit of proper clarification of our thought about this. If it doesn't happen, it won't be because that suddenly our players have gotten into a terrible mindset. Yes, I think that can happen short term. And I wouldn't be surprised if something like the Trent situation had a disruptive effect. Or I wouldn't be surprised if there was a little bit of disgruntlement around the contract situation with the other two lads as well. But when there's a prize in the line, the lads can see it now. These are winners, Dave. These men are born winners. They have a target to hit. They have the minimum amount of points to get in those 9 games. And if they get it, they win the ultimate prize. Tell me you believe there's any chance they're not going to do it. I don't see it. So, I mean, I'm curious where you think we hit it. Where do we hit this thing, this target? And maybe you've got a handle on it than I do in terms of what the minimum is we need to win this league at this stage. Someone said to me it's 5 wins. Is that correct?
Yeah, and it's a funny one because Arsenal, and everyone does mental gymnastics, as you put it quite rightly earlier. Arsenal are tracking this season at exactly 2 points a game. That's where they are. 29 played, 58 points. So if you look at Arsenal and think, right, suppose they just keep that average with 9 to go. That's 18 points, which, if you do a quick bit of mental arithmetic, takes you to 76. So if Arsenal keep on their average, Trev, we actually only need 7 points to win the league. Now, I'm not saying that will happen, but all these things play into it. I just think with a decent run of fixtures, and I think they are a decent run of fixtures, people will look. I mean, a derby's a derby, anything can happen there, but we should be bang up for that revenge from the 2-2. Fulham just gone out the FA Cup. You do wonder a little bit, are they on flip-flop mode? Are they already looking at, their holidays in the beach and players doing 5-star all-inclusive to Dubai, hopefully? West Ham, I mean, they're definitely flip-flop mode. They're not going to go down. They're going to finish in the bottom. It's all about just rolling to the summer for them. So that's a good team. Leicester, I mean, they're horrendous. Let's be honest at the moment. They're absolutely horrendous. They've lost the last 5 in a row. And Spurs, you're also hoping there. They'll be in the Europa, the conference, won't they still? So their mind is completely on that. And Ange's mind, you'd hope, is completely on that if he's going to save his job or have any hope of doing it. That's just the game. I looked at Arsenal's fixtures. They're not bad. Maybe that's a bit of a too generic a phrase, but I just get the impression, Trev, that I can't get it out of my head when I start stacking where it will be, that Spurs game at home, that Sunday, the last one in April, we put enough points in the board. Wouldn't surprise me if Arsenal dropped a few, not many. That is the one I'm looking at. But then again, maybe, just maybe, that's a bit too optimistic, but believable at the same time.
I mean, I love that, and if it could be done at that stage, I'd be very delighted with that. I just keep looking at the bottom line. So Arsenal currently have 58 points. They have 9 games. If we go pessimistic and say they win all 9, that's 27 points. That's what, 85 total, right?
Yeah.
Which means that we are on 70. And we have to get 86, which means we need 16 points, which means we need 5 wins and a draw in 5 wins and a draw in 9 games in a season where we've been beaten once in the league.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's it. This is where this is what I'm talking to you about with the likes of Virgil, the likes of Mo, the likes of Mac. It's there. This is what we need to do. Tick those boxes, and they'll be saying to themselves, the sooner we tick those boxes, the sooner we're on the sangria and celebrating. And so we could 6 wins is Everton. Sorry, 5 wins and draws. Everton, Fulham, that's 2. West Ham, 3. Leicester's 4. What's up next after Leicester there? Spurs, that's 5. That's the 5 wins. And that's if Arsenal are perfect. So if Arsenal have dropped anything, we can win it there. And the rest of the season can go and take a run and jump. Although, I want 90 plus points.
Yeah, I know. And all this, people, for almost the final comment on this, because it's such a big week and it moves into it, you should be excited by it. Park a little bit of the other stuff, but when the games come thick and fast, regardless of what the narrative is, be bigger than it. It's never just a title. It is everything for us. And if it happens, as we expect it will, we will celebrate royally.